feeling cold against your skin. Running through the chaos, letting all the sin. Temptation in a bottle, ready for the night. Craving for the thrill, it's time to ignite. Dark desires burning bright. Echoes in the dead of night. No retreat, no looking back on this heart attack.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? I hope you're having a good night out there. I decided to jump on and just catch up with some stories from around the world that we may have missed out on over the week or the last few days. I have a few, including one out of Florida, which it just seems like all the sad stories come out of Florida. Really, really just sad. I know I'll put it on in a second. Um, we have a couple. I think we've got one out of Atlanta too. Also more updates on that deadly tornado in Michigan yesterday. I will talk to you more about that in a second. Hold on. That footage of that tornado is I mean, I've seen hundreds of hours of tornado footage before, and that particular one, um, that goes across the water and then hits that town. Wow, I I was rated an EF3 today. I was surprised it wasn't rated higher, and it might just be because of what it hit or whatever, but really, really, really violent tornado. This one here. This one that hit a bunch of homes and took out a bunch. There's some satellite footage of it of the area. There you go. This one, crazy. Some of the craziest footage I've ever seen of a tornado, and I have seen a lot. So the poor people in this area. There was a couple of deaths nearby, but it was lifting up homes, just lifting up homes and lofting them. When you can see a tornado do that, you know it is pretty bad. That was the one in Union City. Maybe I can show you some of the damage. Yeah, here we go. There's some pretty good screenshots of it. Ah, that's not a good quality screenshot of it. Let me see. There we go. God, all the all the photos of it look terrible. Hold on, I'll get you a better photo. How you guys going out there? Let me set up and get some more of this footage out there. Brutal. I just, it's for a community. The quality is like terrible, but that's okay. Hey guys, good to see you. Um, you see when it looks like this, and it doesn't even look like the area anymore. It looks like a bomb has gone off. It is terrible, and these poor people. I mean, when you saw this thing come across the water, here, we might have a video of it. Yeah, here's some drone footage from the local news. I'll pause it so we don't get in trouble, but you can see some of the homes just obliterated. Really, really terrible. Look at that. Can we get a better view of that? Yeah, this is when it came across that water, and you can see the direction it went in due to the damage. All the lights, all the first responders who came through. I just couldn't imagine being there when that giant tornado came through. There you go, took off some people's homes. I don't even know where you start to clean up something like this particular thing. There you go, a house that was completely obliterated and then thrown into the field. It just looks like there's nothing there. You can't even really tell where one home is, another starts. Terrible, it really is. Really, really awful. I think they're up to, let me get a update. It was rated an EF3. Deaths. Last I heard it was like eight deaths, but that was including the 2 in Oklahoma. Yeah, 8 people dead, 6 in Michigan, 2 in Oklahoma, and, they're saying a boy 12 was one of the, people who died in the Michigan, tornado. It's terrible for, like, this early in March to be dealing with that, but yeah, there you go. That's only one of the areas, the tornado hit, but you can't even tell what's left. It just looks like, I don't even know. It just looks like literally, it's the only thing you can think of, a bomb went off, which is basically what a tornado is anyway. It's terrible. A lot of these homes will probably not be salvageable. They'll have to be destroyed and torn down, most likely. There you go. That used to be a street. There used to be people that lived on it. Most likely, most of those homes will be demolished because they are no longer, somewhere people can live. Very awful. Hey, good to see you guys all in the chat. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. I just thought we'd hang out tonight. Nothing really structured for tonight. I just thought we'd check around at different true crime stories that we may have not been able to cover so far this week, including this one in Florida. I don't know if anyone else saw it, but a female, obviously, a Florida college student, female, 20, gave birth in a toilet, and unfortunately, they're saying the newborn had died. They're accusing her of burying the baby in a shallow grave. So I'll play that for you if I can get this to go.
And that breaking news, a baby found in a shallow grave in the backyard of a Palm Coast home. Good evening, I'm Hannah McKenzie.
And I'm John Brown. Flagler County deputies just arrested the mother who they say watched her baby die after she gave birth to it in a toilet. This happened at a home on Florida Park Drive in Palm Coast. Fox 35's Chris Lindsay joins us live with that one. So, Chris, deputies say she claims that she didn't even know she was pregnant, though.
Yes, and investigators are now confirming that the baby drowned in the toilet. Allegedly, this woman watched the newborn take its last breath and then went about her day. When questioned about it, detectives say she was oddly calm.
The Flagler chief deputy heartbroken.
It's tragic for the child, for everyone, and it baffles me. I could never imagine being able to do that.
After a Palm Coast 20-year-old allegedly did the unthinkable, Ann Mae DiMaggillo is being charged for standing by as her newborn baby girl drowned, moments after giving birth to it in the toilet of her Palm Coast home.
At that point, she hid the infant in a duffel bag in her closet and went about her normal daily routine.
They say she went to her college and did a performance at a theater before coming back to bury the little girl in a shallow grave in the backyard.
Everyone expresses grief and everything in their own way, so I can't say the reasoning, but I watched some of the interview and I didn't see any remorse.
She claims she didn't know she was pregnant until the moment she gave birth in the bathroom. Deputies discovered this during a welfare check after they got a tip from someone saying DiMaggillo told them she'd done something to the kid.
The Flagler.
I think it is very sad all around for a girl, 20, to feel like that is something that she had to do. I don't know if we'll ever find out the reasoning behind it, but they're saying that messages that she sent out described the baby as being born alive and crying, and that she had told someone she had done something to the infant. And then she went to work like it was nothing and went to school, went to a ballet performance, and came back to bury the infant in the backyard. Now, detectives determined that she knowingly and purposefully allowed the newborn to drown in the toilet and did nothing to intervene. And they're saying here, investigators said the baby girl weighed nearly 3.5 pounds, measured 19 inches long. They believe her mother, who lived at the home, did not know that her daughter was pregnant. The baby's father's whereabouts are unknown at this time, so they don't know who the father of the child is. So, yeah, pretty sad story all round. Anytime we get a lot of them out of Florida for some reason. I think I have another update if I can get to it. Yep, here.
First at 10 tonight, a tragic story unfolding in Flagler County. A mother giving birth, then accused of leaving that newborn in a toilet. The sheriff's office says she then left the baby to die while she went on with her day.
Now that young woman is behind bars tonight, and that is where we find West 2's Gail Pasco Brown live at the Flagler County Jail. And Gail, certainly a tough one to get through tonight.
It is definitely a tough one. 20-year-old Ann May DeMeglio was booked here into the Flagler County Jail just before 8 tonight. She is accused of letting her baby die and then burying the child in the backyard. As far as the child's father is concerned, earlier today, deputies say they are unaware of where he is.
It baffles me, to be completely honest. Sometimes you can't explain everything.
Flagler County Sheriff's deputies responded to Florida Park Drive in Palm Coast for a welfare check on 20-year-old Ann May DeMeglio Friday. Deputies received a 911 call from a person who said DeMeglio had sent a message on social media that she had a baby.
The caller informed operators that 20-year-old Ann May DeMeglio had sent messages to the caller stating that she had secretly been pregnant and unexpectedly gave birth at home. The messages indicated that DeMeglio's baby was born alive and crying, but that DeMeglio had done something to the infant.
Look, very, very sad. I don't know if we'll ever find out fully what the circumstances are, but does Florida have the fire stations? Hold on. I think they might. Yes, they do. They have the Haven Baby Box, but apparently there's only one or two in the entire of Florida. So they only have one, which is located in Ocala, at the fire rescue in Ocala County. So I don't know how far away that particular area is. We could have a look. So there was a baby boy that was dropped off there anonymously a couple of years ago. Let's have a look. This is Palm Coast. Palm Coast 2. Where does that go? Palm Coast 2. It's about an hour and a half away. So Ocala is a while away. It's about an hour and a half, not exactly close to each other. Rachel said she knew what she had done. I wish she would have called someone to get the baby help. Sounds like the baby was alive at one point. Joe said Ocala County is quite a ways away from the Palm Coast. Yeah, it says to me an hour and a half. Chipmunk said, I thought any hospital would take a baby not wanted. I would think that might be the law. So Florida has a safe haven law, allows parents to legally and anonymously leave unharmed newborns up to 7 days old at hospitals, emergency medical stations, fire stations without fear of prosecution. Abandoning a child elsewhere is a serious crime, often resulting in felony neglect or child abandonment charges. So, if you do it outside of any of those places, you can get in a lot of trouble. So she buried the child in her backyard. It's
Toilet. The sheriff's office says.
Yeah, I didn't want to play it again. But yeah, that's her there. Anne May DeMagillo. And she, unfortunately, will now probably have to go to trial. Chipmunk says, easily could have posted on Facebook for help. Sad we live in a world where people talk to so many, yet don't. She talked to someone because she told them that the baby had been born. Gail said, do our babies get weighed in pound and ounce? Yeah, I'm not sure why they did it like that. 3 pound. Yeah, what was it again? 3.5 pounds and 19 inches long. I would say they would consider that underweight or a low birth weight. That's what it says. Underweight or a low birth weight. Joe said a lot of the times the cover-up is worse than the original sin. May be the case here. Maybe, but unfortunately that young lady, even if she pleads guilty, is going to be in for a world of pain, unfortunately. It's going to affect her a lot. She may even get some sort of jail time possibly, because they're going to charge her with murder because she deliberately didn't help the child not drown. So she's been charged with aggravated manslaughter of a child. That is not an easy charge to get out of. That is, it is jail time if convicted. So that young lady's life has been upended due to her own actions, unfortunately. Very unfortunate. It could have been very different. That baby could be alive. She could have given the baby up. Yeah, it's sad. Lisa said, of course you're interested in US cases, but Ping could help us get some help here. What? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Diane says, meanwhile, people are lined up waiting to adopt. Right, the adoption waiting list is like years long. Truth be told said, wonder if she discussed the pregnancy with the baby's father. Right now, they don't know who the baby's father is. It hasn't, well, not publicly anyway. It's not been given out. Let me have a look. Let me see if I can find anything else from Flagler County. They did provide a mugshot of her, which I could probably get on the screen. It's the same one we saw in that video. Just that one there. I'll see if they provided an update or not. No, their last update was that booking photo. But even they say in their post, under Florida's safe haven laws, parents who cannot care for a newborn may safely surrender the child at any fire station, hospital, or police station. Palm Coast Safe Haven Baby Box. Palm Coast has a Safe Haven Baby Box, allows for the complete anonymity, and is located at Fire Station 25, which was activated on September 30, 2025. Parents can quietly and safely place their newborn inside the secure climate-controlled box without having to interact with anyone face-to-face. DeMagillo will be charged with aggravated manslaughter of a child and later transported to the Sheriff Perry Hall inmate detention facility for processing. They say the investigation is ongoing. So they did have a baby box in the area. Yeah, it's very, very sad. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out more about the father at a later point in time. But right now we don't have one, but they did do an update here. Got a share it. Good work, Ping.
Sheriff's Office has detained a Palm Coast woman following investigation into the death of a newborn infant. Around 4 a.m. this morning, the Flagler County Emergency Communications Center received a call requesting a welfare check on an adult female. The caller informed operators that a 20-year-old Ann May DiMaggio had sent messages to the caller stating that she had secretly been pregnant and unexpectedly gave birth at home. The messages indicated that DiMaggio's baby was born alive and crying, but that DiMaggio had done something to the infant. When deputies arrived on scene, they met with DiMaggio. She was a little hesitant to speak at first, and then she advised them that she had been pregnant and delivered the baby and led them to a shallow grave in the backyard. During the investigation and detectives conducting interviews, DiMaggio told them that she had delivered a baby in the toilet. The child had been crying initially. She then had walked away and returned, and the child had stopped crying and moving. At that point, she hid the infant in a duffel bag in her closet and went about her normal daily routine. She went to her college, did a performance at a theater, and then returned back to the home. At that point, she determined that she needed to bury the child. This was at approximately 10 p.m. last night. At that point, she then buried the child in a shallow grave in the back. She is currently detained and will be charged with aggravated manslaughter of a child. The investigation is still ongoing with the medical examiner, interviews. We're able to tell you that the child was a female, weighing approximately 3 pounds, and was 3 pounds, 6 ounces, and 18.7 inches long. Under Florida's safe haven law, parents who cannot care for a newborn may safely surrender the child to any fire station, hospital, or police station, which obviously is something we encourage anyone to do. Palmco's Safe Haven Baby Box allows for complete anonymity and is located at Fire Station 25, which was activated on September 30th, 2025. Parents can quietly and safely place their newborn inside the secure, climate-controlled box without having to interact with anyone face-to-face. As I stated, the investigation is still ongoing, trying to figure out every aspect of it. But if anyone has any information, they're encouraged to call the sheriff's office at 386-313-4911. Does anyone have any questions?
Did you tell us that anyone knew she was pregnant?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Did anyone know she was pregnant?
According to her, no. She said she wasn't even sure she was pregnant until she gave birth.
Can you describe the nature of the welfare check call? Did it come in saying it was about her, right? Or
She had sent messages on social media to someone else saying that she had given birth to a baby and done something with it. So that person called us.
Why is this manslaughter and not murder?
Because of the fact that as of now, preliminarily, we can see that the baby was born and left. She did not make any other actions to inflict harm on the baby.
Sir, I'm trying to understand this.
Okay.
You're saying she didn't know she was pregnant.
That's according to her, yes.
Was the baby?
If I can continue. And then, can you explain this again?
That's her statement, that she was unaware she was pregnant and she had been having some pains. She thought it were period cramps, some issues, and then she gave birth to the child. That was her statement.
And why didn't she take care of the child, do something? Did she explain why she put the baby in a duffel bag?
No.
That's
a question I have too.
Was the father aware of the pregnancy?
According to her, no.
What do you think about this?
It's tragic for the child, for everyone, and it baffles me. I could never imagine being able to do that. I'm right there with you. I don't understand a lot of the answers she had, but that is what she said has occurred, and that's where we're at with the investigation. Obviously, we're going to keep going, keep conducting interviews with everyone involved, and see if we can come up with more answers. But right now, all we have to go on is her statements.
So the baby died as a result of the abandonment?
That is what it appears, yes.
Was it premature or was it?
I can't tell you if it was premature or how far along she was, but I can give you the weight was 3 pounds, 6 ounces, 18.7 inches long.
And you said classes. Was she a college student, high school student?
It appears, yes, at one of the local colleges.
Oh, college student.
Like DSC?
When you said she went to college,
I believe it was Daytona State College.
and who was in the house? Who else was in the house?
Only her mother.
The father is at sea?
I'm unaware of where the father is, but we still need to actually speak to him, so I don't want to go too in detail with that.
Does the baby have a name? Was it given a name?
No.
Sir, how does she act?
Oddly calm. But I can't, everyone expresses grief and everything in their own way, so I can't say the reasoning, but I watched some of the interview and I didn't see any remorse.
You described it as a shallow grave. How deep is shallow, and is the baby going to get a proper burial after the investigation is conducted?
As far as the grave, deputies only had to remove, I'd say maybe 4 to 5 inches of dirt to discover the baby. As far as the rest, we're just not there yet.
Was the baby wrapped in anything?
No, Sarge. A towel? Wrapped in a towel.
It was on the property itself,
Yes.
the backyard.
Behind a fenced-in area in the backyard to the side of the house.
I just want to clarify the welfare check that was prompted by a call from the friend.
The person she messaged saying she had given birth to a baby, and
Do you characterize that person as a friend of hers?
we still need to speak to them, so I just don't want to go too into depth with that.
And that was a friend who called and for the welfare check.
Correct.
The mother, can you tell us what she was doing, her role? I mean, did she, when they come to the house,
She was just a little reluctant to speak to deputies, but she was a little nervous, but nothing you would expect in a situation like this. Other than that, like I said, I was there for a lot of the interview, and it was just oddly calm.
We understand this may have been a relative's house. Was there anyone else in the house with her yesterday, today?
I believe I already answered that. It was only mom in the house today.
Do you believe anyone else might be implicated after the fact?
No, everything we have points to no one else having any knowledge that she was even pregnant.
Can you say anything else about the cause of death? Was it?
No, that's still a medical examiner still determining that.
And I just want to be clear, the baby was born yesterday. I wasn't sure.
According to her, the baby was born over 24 hours ago. Approximately 10 p.m. last night is when she returned home and buried the child.
But in that time, where was the mother? When her was left alive and she left, where was the mother? Where, not her, the older,
We still need to finish our interview with her and see where her whereabouts were, but according to and the child was in a duff bag in the closet, so she probably wouldn't even seen it, but I can't speak exactly where she was at this point. We still need, like I said, this is very active. There's still a lot of interviews, but we wanted to make sure we got the information out.
Describe the property, and could anybody have seen any of this activity happening?
Not in dark. I mean, you'd have to be on their property.
Do you know how much time elapsed from the time she gave birth to when she came back to the bathroom?
What time did she say about that she had given birth?
it's about the middle of the night on Thursday. And then came back the next.
So about 24 hours. About 24 hours between the time child being born and her burying.
sir, can you give us a suspect's name again, please?
Her name is Ann May DiMaggillo.
How do you spell all that, please?
ANNE. Then it's MAE. Last name is DEMEGILLO. She's 20 years old.
Has she been taken to the hospital for examination?
We still have her in custody, and we're going to follow our protocol before she gets actually charged and booked in at the jail.
Any prior criminal history with her? Any prior mental health issues that the sheriff's office is aware of?
Not that I'm currently aware of, but we're still looking into all that.
Chief, what's the time lapse between the actual birth and her coming back to the bathroom and finding the child deceased?
I think it was.
She remained inside the bathroom.
Okay.
She watched the child.
So initially, she watched the child.
What? I'm sorry.
So I apologize. That changed during the investigation. She watched the child until the child stopped breathing and moving.
She watched the child.
Yes.
So, I'm sorry.
No, I understand. Trust me.
She goes to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
She goes to the bathroom. She thought she just had cramps, pains, and then she goes into labor and delivers a child. She sees it
in the toilet, leaves it there, watches it, hears it cry, and waits until it stops crying and moving.
She watched her baby die?
That's what it appears. So, yes.
You said in the toilet?
Yes.
The child was in the toilet?
Yes, correct, right? Yes.
She watched the child in the toilet?
She watched the child until the child stopped moving, crying, and breathing.
At any point from when you started talking to her to now as we're speaking, has she shown an acknowledgement of the gravity of the charge against her of what happened?
And just want to make it aware, this interview is still ongoing in other areas, so things have changed. Has she? I know when I watched, she had not shown any remorse. Did that change, Sergeant?
Generally, no.
No.
Did she try to justify it or rationalize it?
No, and I don't want to go into details of the investigation, but I know at one point they did have a question about that, and she didn't express anything.
Was she forthcoming about everything, Rhoda? You were just saying some details have changed. So was there anything that has changed over the course of your first interaction to what you know the last update to be?
Just the more details of what had occurred between her time being there and her actions. Because initially it was that she had left, but now she had said that she stayed there the entire time.
So I'm sorry, I'm going to have to ask you again, given the new details.
Of course.
Are you a father?
No.
Regardless, are you blown away by this?
Yes, because I have a niece and I couldn't. Yeah, I could never do that, and it baffles me, to be completely honest. Sometimes you can't explain everything.
She has the identity of the father established.
Yes, but we are not putting that out this time.
It's not a member of the family.
Of whose her family? Not to my knowledge, but we're still working on that and notification as well.
Any timetable of when she might be processed, and would this warrant potential?
It's not a warrant. We're arresting her on a probable cause affidavit, but it should be later tonight. I would be no later than probably 10 p.m. unless there's, we have to do the proper, make sure she's medically cleared and everything, but should be tonight.
She have to be separated from Jen Pop, just given the nature of the burden.
We'd have to see her criminal history and everything else. That all goes into play.
Has it been established that she knows the difference between right and wrong?
Vaguely. Like I said, we had asked the question, and while she didn't show remorse, she went towards that. She knows it was wrong, and she should probably be held accountable.
But she's a college student.
Correct.
So she graduated high school.
Mm-hmm. She had she spoke fine. She was able to hold a conversation. I mean,
was she surprised when your deputies went and knocked on her door this morning?
Initially, I wouldn't say was surprised. She was hesitant to speak and a little nervous, but she messaged someone some pretty serious details on social media. I mean, I would think when she sees law enforcement at the door, she probably has an idea what it's about.
Sir, you were talking about your niece?
Yes.
It's emotional.
Yes.
I saw you get a little emotional. Why?
That's a child. Anytime even an injury, especially the death of a child occurs, it's sad. I mean, anyone, but especially a child, and just the details of this, and for someone to just stand there and watch this, it's that's tough.
Yeah, I agree with some of you. I think some of the answers there were prejudicial, especially by saying that she didn't show any remorse. You can't say that. That is for a judge and a jury to decide. I think her lawyer will pick up on that pretty quickly. You can't say stuff like that. You could ask something like, did she seem sad? Was she emotional? You could probably say, ask it in that particular way. But asking about remorse, it's probably not a good idea to comment on it. Rachel said, releasing this much info soon is not a good idea. Yeah, it is a strange interview. Chipmunk said, how is it a person can get a murder charge for not acting to save someone, but this is a manslaughter? She had a lot to do with it. Yeah, I am not sure. Burn Popcorn said, yeah, I know. She was really pushing that one female reporter, very pushy and trying to get stuff that wasn't about the investigation. she was trying to get like personal insight from the sheriff, well, chief deputy. That's unprofessional. Yeah, they both seem to be like giving out either too much information or trying to angle questions at the wrong part of what's going on. Like focus them on the actual report. You know, the baby has been found dead. They've found the mother and things like that. You know. Chibang said she wanted him to cry. Yeah, what's with the pushing of like, why was this emotional for you? I think anytime a cop has to deal with a dead child, it's very sad. Most of them have children, most of them have family members. Like, it's not, you don't need to go fishing for that bridge. That bridge is pretty easy to like figure out. Most of them are family men and women, and this would be distressing for the members who had to, you know, be there, see the child, all those type of things. Gail said, if I was there, I would have been kicked out for shouting, "Shut the F up." I've never seen a press conference like that. Very odd. Let's see. Yeah. Say this is an active investigation. We will provide more answers later. Yeah, strange that he didn't just hide behind the whole, we can't give out anything at this point in time as it, you know, is active. You'll have to wait till we get to trial. Rachel said a simple fact-based report would have been proper in this case. Let the charging documents tell more. There you go. I don't know. We might be able to find the charging documents for it. Let me see if I can. I may be able to. What's her name? I have her name. Let's see. Let's see if we can find them or not. Let's see if I can get it. What's that? Nope, that is their press release. I don't see it as of right now. Yeah, Anne may do. Okay. Yeah, I don't see it. Yeah, I don't see it right now. It'll be online at some point, and it'll be accessible, but I don't see it right now. There was another document. The only one I could find that had anything to do with a document was the news release that they put out, this one here, which is basically what he just said in the press conference anyway. Yeah, there you go. Basically, yeah, she'll be charged with aggravated manslaughter. Interesting why they didn't do the murder charge. I mean, I guess because there was no, maybe because she said she wasn't pregnant or she didn't know she was pregnant, therefore they can't say that she had any prior intent to hurt the child. Burn Popcorn said, we don't know anything about the girl, as in maybe she has some developmental issues, possibly. Could be why. Let me see if I can find anything else. Let me see. Maybe this.
Story since our live coverage started on Eyewitness News at 4. We showed you the press conference. Good evening. I'm Greg Warmith.
And I'm Martha Sigalski. Investigators say that mother is a 20-year-old college student. Channel 9's Nick Papantonis is live at the sheriff's office in Bunnell, where he's been asking questions about this horrific story. And Nick, deputies say a friend of the woman actually called them.
They say that friend got some disturbing messages last night from that 20-year-old who is right now being interrogated inside this building. They said the mother was nervous when she opened the door and then led them to the baby's gravesite.
Everyone expresses grief and everything in their own way, so I can't say the reasoning, but I watched some of the interview, and I didn't see any remorse.
Deputies sharing details of their disturbing discovery underneath this tent in a Palm Coast backyard Friday. They say 20-year-old Ann Mae DiMagello was alone in the house, gave birth to a 3-pound baby girl in the home's toilet Thursday morning, and watched the little girl die. They say she went to her college class, performed at a theater, and then returned home to bury her daughter in a shallow grave.
Tragic for the child, for everyone, and it baffles me. I could never imagine being able to do that.
Deputies said DiMagello claimed she didn't know she was pregnant and no one else knew, including the baby's father. A young man who visited the house with his father Friday spoke to deputies and broke down before driving off. Neighbors saying there are normally 3 people in the house who mostly keep to themselves.
It's a very busy street. I drive up and down all the time. And like I say, I'll be.
They said that the baby was buried in the back of that fence line. It is a like fenced-in yard with a giant solar panel on the side. You would think that the parents, other people who live there, would notice the shallow grave eventually. I mean, it's not exactly deep, right? It's a fenced-in yard. You couldn't blame it on anyone else. It looks very manicured. Grass level looks very low. Eventually, someone would have noticed it. It's a strange place to put the baby. Chipmunk said whether it's because of the parents or not, they want it in life. Yeah. Gayla said, dude, you can also never get pregnant. That's right. Joe said 3 people in that house that keep to themselves. How odd is that? It's not like a condo or apartment building. No, it's a pretty big home, right? Pretty big. All right, let's play the last little bit.
I've never seen anybody outside.
Now, when she's done with this interview, DiMagello is going to be booked in on a manslaughter charge. Deputies say it is not murder because she did nothing else to cause the baby's death other than watching it. Live in Bunnell, Nick Papantonis, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Nick,
That's a bit strange. Is that they said she didn't get the murder charge because she didn't do anything to actually that's a hard one. She didn't do anything to cause the baby's death directly, but she didn't help the child either. Strange. I've never seen the law applied in that way, like that. Very, very odd. The fact that she didn't help is the reason why they can't charge her with murder. Okay. I'll keep an eye on that one, and if we hear anything else about Ann Mae DiMagello, I will let you know. But right now, being a weekend, there is not too much more about her. Just what I've shown you, the press conference and the 2 news updates. All right, I do have more. What other ones have we not been able to? All right. Seems like we have a lot of people, especially women, who are allegedly trying to poison people's, like their husbands' food with drugs, including a lawyer. Did you guys see this one? Yeah. Alabama lawyer who formerly worked in DA's office. Let's get rid of that. Is accused of lacing husband's food with fentanyl 3 times in a month. Sarah Baker, and here's her mugshot. There's her mugshot. And they're saying an attorney in Alabama has been indicted on multiple counts of attempted murder for allegedly trying to fatally poison her husband. A grand jury indicted Sarah Baker, 75, on 11 counts, including conspiracy to commit murder, 3 counts of attempted murder, DV, elder abuse, unlawful distribution of an unlawful substance, and 4 counts of solicitation to commit a controlled substance crime. Wow, that is a hell of a rap sheet. They're saying the 3 attempted murder charges are for alleged incidents that took place September 4th, September 12th, and September 20 of 2025. The indictment states Baker attempted to intentionally cause the death of her husband, James. According to the indictment, she did this by putting fentanyl in his food and/or drink. James did not die after these meals, but did become physically impaired, which is why Baker is facing counts of both DV and elder abuse, and the grand jury noted those 2 charges in their indictment. The 4 solicitation accounts accused Baker of supplying or furnishing fentanyl on 3 dates listed above, as well as a 4th time on November 25th, the date of her arrest, according to the criminal complaint filed in the case. She's apparently posted a $400,000 bail, and she is on pretrial release ahead of her trial on the charges. So she's out in the community, but she is accused of this crazy crime. Let me see what else I can find about Sarah Baker. That is crazy to me. Not a very long video, but we'll take it.
I'm Taylor Pollack at the First Alert Desk. A former Coleman County lawyer has been indicted on multiple charges after prosecutors say she tried to kill her husband. Court records show that Sarah Baker was indicted last month on 11 charges, including 3 counts of attempted murder. A Walker County Circuit Court judge has also now been assigned to hear her case. Baker was arrested in November of last year, accused of putting fentanyl in her husband's food and drink. She was suspended by the Alabama Bar Association in December. From the First Alert Desk, I'm Taylor Pollack.
After New on 6 on your side, an attorney in Coleman County out of jail on bond, but accused of trying to kill her husband on several occasions.
Well, court documents say Sarah Baker conspired with another person to put fentanyl in her husband's food and or drink. Your reporter Jillian Brooks joining us live now on your side after talking with a local attorney about how this case could move forward given her position in the judicial system. Jillian.
Sarah, Steve, local attorneys telling me today that this case is simply put bizarre. DA Champ Crocker for Coleman County confirming with WBRC today that Sarah Baker is not only a local attorney, but also used to work for the DA's office.
I mean, this is something that Dateline or 2020 or something that is going to pick up on this. This is a bizarro world.
Working as a criminal defense attorney, Roger Appel has seen a lot, but the case coming out of Coleman County is unlike anything he's heard before.
I mean, this is a case that's going to take a lot of time to prepare and a lot of evidence and expert witnesses and
Charges, including
could take a really.
is facing several charges, including conspiracy to commit murder and attempted murder. But it's the remaining charges that Appel has questions about.
There's so many other charges here. You've got charges of distribution, 4 counts of distribution of controlled substance, solicitation for murder, domestic violence, elder abuse, all of that. And again, I'm speculating, and you asked me to do it, so I'm going to do it. I'm speculating that this could be a long-term situation.
Late Wednesday afternoon, Judge Jamie Summerell was temporarily assigned to the case. I asked Appel earlier why a new judge could be assigned to this specific case.
You know, I don't know the lady. I've never dealt with her before, but looking on her website, I understand that she focused, I would suspect.
Afternoon, also showing that Sarah Baker's legal team has requested a motion to set a preliminary hearing in this case. Your reporter live.
There you go. I would say the judge recused themselves because they've probably done something with her before, being that she used to work in the DA and that she's an attorney locally. They probably are too familiar with her. So that's probably why that judge was recused. There you go. I want to know where she even got it. That's a bit of evidence that we don't have. But where did she even obtain it? One of her clients that she worked with, somebody she got off on a crime, called in a favor maybe. You know, she maybe had a dodgy client years ago and then called them and was like, "Hey, remember when I got you out of jail on that drugs charge? Hey, I need a favor. I need like a gram of fentanyl." It's crazy. Chipmunk said, so it's like $40 to get married, but costs a life to get divorced. It is starting to be that way. What we're seeing, though, is a lot of females using poisoning as their weapon, not a gun, not a knife, but poisoning. And it's a wide variety of types of poison. Could be medication OD, could be putting something in their food, it could be fentanyl, could be, some sort of household chemical. It is happening really frequently. We at least get a few of them every year, at least a few. Yeah, at least 2 or 3 a year. Let me see what else we can find because I want that document, the one from the court. I want to know if they know where she got it from. Oh, Brian Enton did this one? In December? Okay. I don't know why this came up on my list today, but there you go. If you knew about it in December, sorry. I don't know why this came up on our list to do today. But yeah, Lauren Crime, 1st of December. Sorry about that. I thought this was newer. So they're saying Baker's husband had a stroke several years ago and Sarah Baker was taking care of him full time. The fentanyl poisoning attempts came in September while Baker's husband was still under her care. The husband suffered physical impairment as a result of the attempted slayings, but managed to survive. Baker's first started plotting to murder him on September 1 when she met with someone to start planning how it would go down. So there's more people. There's people, co-conspirators. So there is another person. It's unclear if Cofield was the person who Sarah is accused of conspiring with. So there is someone called Cofield. Felicia Nicole Cofield is listed as a witness in the criminal complaint and was indicted in August for allegedly attempting to destroy evidence related to the Baker case. They're saying she was charged with tampering and accused of swallowing fentanyl that she believed could tie her to the alleged murder attempts. There you go. Baker was representing Cofield during criminal proceedings before her arrest last Tuesday, November 25 in Coleman County. So there you go. It is like Ping thought, a client. She used a client who had a dodgy history to get her the fentanyl. It's like almost like a story from, I don't know, like one of those trashy TV shows. It almost read word for word. Chipmunk said, I suggest getting a divorce therapy, coloring books, and a hot bath. People need better coping skills. I agree. Burnt Popcorn says, sounds like her husband was disabled from the stroke. And look, I don't think we should minimize the fact that it's really hard to look after someone when they're like that. If they've had a stroke, a heart attack, something like that, other medical, it is very difficult to look after another human being. And I don't think anyone, doesn't feel for her in that way. But feeding him fentanyl so that he became more disabled is not okay. Is not the right thing to do. Yeah, get help. You're a lawyer. You got good money. Why can't you get a nurse or a live-in carer, someone to help you take the load off? That lady has more money than the average person. She could have got help, and that makes her offending even worse. It makes it even worse. It really does. Um, the fact that she was able to post a $400,000 bond, that should tell you everything. Um, we'll have to keep an eye on this particular one. Poisoning cases, Ping has done a lot of them. Let's see. Yeah, Ping has done far too many poisoning cases. We'll keep an eye on that one, but that's not the one I wanted to do. No, we did that one. Um. All right. All right, that's fine. All right. Well, we're going to go to the UK. I want to talk about this. This happened last night, and I want to know how all of you feel. So I'm going to play you something, and then I want you to tell me how you feel. Okay? All right. Hopefully it will play. Yep, here we go.
An image of innocence. Holly Wells and Jessica Chapman in matching Manchester United shirts, taken hours before they went missing on a summer's afternoon in 2002, and used in appeals to find the 10-year-old friends. Their disappearance from Soham captivated a concerned nation. The search around the rural Cambridgeshire town was one of the most extensive in British history. And the discovery of the girls' bodies in a ditch after 13 days was a collective trauma. They had been murdered by Ian Huntley, a secondary school caretaker and boyfriend of their classroom assistant, Maxine Carr. A cold and calculated killer who lured them into his home.
How do we know they were here at 6:15? Well, we have an eyewitness.
But then claimed to be helping with the search.
Evening in.
But his readiness to speak to the media made police suspicious, particularly the detail given to Sky's Jeremy Thompson.
How did they seem to you?
Seemed fine, very cheerful, happy, chatty. I didn't see anything untoward, nobody hanging around. Just seemed like normal, happy kids.
Safe and well?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you may, as it turned out, have been the last person to actually chat to them before they vanished.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
And it's a mystery.
Absolutely,
still
yeah.
unsolved.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everybody around here, I've been speaking to a lot of people, and what they're saying is, while there's no news, then there's still that glimmer of hope.
The girls had left a family barbecue to buy sweets when they encountered the 28-year-old Huntley. He was convicted of abducting and murdering the girls after a high-profile trial at the Old Bailey in 2003. Serving a life sentence with a minimum term of 40 years, his notoriety followed him, being attacked in prison. Huntley also...
So he was attacked quite frequently in prison. Finally, well, not finally, eventually someone finally had, finally, that's not the right word. Someone eventually was able to corner him after many years in protective custody. They got an opportunity, found a metal pole with a spike in it it's like a metal scrap bin from the work that the inmates do, and he used that to bludgeon him to death, like completely annihilated his head to the point where apparently his own mother did not recognize him. And yeah, so it is a lot of people today not feeling unhappy at the fact that he has died. So Ian Huntley has died age 52 after that beating about a week or so ago, and they finally switched off the machines that were keeping him alive in hospital. So I don't know what people feel, but I would say possibly a lot of the family would think this is actually the justice that he deserves, for taking those two little girls' lives. And I don't think that would be something that a lot of people would disagree with. Um, I don't think people would disagree with it. Lisa, we do a lot of Australian true crime. We can't do it every single day for every single story forever. We have to do multiple different countries. There's not always something going on in Australia to make it worthwhile. When there's something, an update or something we can cover, I'll do it. But I can't just, you know, randomly talk about stories that we've already done. Like we've already done a lot of the famous ones. We've done a lot of, yeah, just we've done a ton of like the ones that most people would know about, even some that people don't know about. We've done Mr. Cruel, we've done the missing kids, like so many. We can't just have episodes going over and over every day with the same topic because it's can't do it. Rachel said, "How long had he been in custody, Ping?" So since not long, he was arrested back then. Not long after the event took place. So he's been in jail almost 25 years. So quite a long time. Somehow he survived for almost 2.5 decades. But um, he had been beaten before in prison. Inmates had attacked him previously. He'd spent time in hospital after being attacked. Um, Let me see if I can find like another time. Yeah, he had actually survived repeated attacks on his life. If I go to the URL here, and it'll probably tell us, yeah, so 2002, a long time. Let me see if I can find out some of the. So he was killed by another murderer and R-word person called Anthony Russell. This is his photo here. This is the guy who is accused of killing him in prison. And I was trying to see if we could, yeah. While in prison, Huntley survived repeated attempts on his life. He was kept under close protection along with other notorious killers. In one incident in 2010, his throat was slashed by another inmate. At the time of the murders, um, yeah, at the time of the murders, Huntley was living with Maxine Carr, a teaching assistant at Holly and Jessica's school. Carr gave Huntley a false alibi and was subsequently jailed for 21 months for perverting the course of justice. She had to get a new identity due to her association with the case. So, yeah, there was another inmate that tried to cut his throat open about 15 years ago, and that's not the only time. It just, for some reason, this particular guy saw an opportunity, took it, and was able to locate a weapon to kill Ian. So, Rachel said, "I appreciate Ping covering stories all over the world." Yeah, I mean, I can't just go round and round and round in circles on the same cases because no one will watch. Like, I can't do that just for one person. Yeah, otherwise, I'd just have a channel for one person. It doesn't make any sense. Gail said, "Yeah, and us taxpayers provided it for her, the new identity. It's quite common in the UK if you're associated with a high-profile crime. When you are released, they will put you on license and they will give you a new identity." It happened, there's a bunch of cases I could talk about from the UK. But yeah, that happens quite a lot where people associated with killers, or they might be people who are killers and got out of jail, but they can't use their real name because people will find them. they'll attack them, all that type of thing. So happens quite frequently. It's annoying. I don't think a lot of people in the UK like it, but it does happen. I'm not sure the reasons behind it. Why here? Why do they? Let's see. In the UK, new identities are granted to released inmates primarily to protect their lives from severe risk of violence or vigilante action. The measure is often taken for high-profile offenders such as child killers to enable rehabilitation and prevent them from being hunted down. It is a rare court-sanctioned protection. There you go. The most famous one was probably James Bulger. James Bulger is probably the most famous one. The two kids who were children at the time, John Venables and the other guy. I can't remember the other guy's name, but the both of them, when they were put out of jail eventually, they were given new identities. Robert Thompson, that's the other one. Venables, I think he's had like 3 or 4 different identities so far because he keeps telling people his real name. He's been thrown back into custody like 50 times. Like he just can't be on the outside. He just I don't believe he's okay to be in public. He just keeps getting busted. He keeps telling people his identity. He keeps looking up information that is related to children. You know, since he got out of his jail / mental health place that he was in, he's been busted for all of it. Think of something and he's been busted with it. Yeah, I don't think he is redeemable. The other guy, Robert Thompson, I think he's done okay. He got out of jail. You never hear from him. He's been very quiet. I think he's passed all his checks, and they raid his property every so often and check on what he's got. I don't think he's ever had a real problem. It's just been John. So yeah, they do this every so often. Hey Spicy, how are you? Thanks. Good to see you. Rachel said, was the guy who did it serving life? Yes, I'm pretty sure the guy that they have named, he's not getting out anytime soon. He's serving a life sentence. This guy right here. Pretty sure he was in there. So probably to him, didn't matter whether he killed someone else. Apparently he yelled, I got him. I got him. I finally got him when he attacked Ian. He was over the moon about it. He was almost like a game, almost like something, you know, like he'd been trying for years to get him. What did he get? He's a triple killer. He's a British serial killer and R-wordist who was sentenced to a whole life order in March of 2022 for a week-long murder spree in October 2020. He most recently made headlines in March right now for allegedly carrying out the fatal prison attack on child murderer Ian Huntley. So I don't think we should glorify Anthony Russell too much. He killed a 31-year-old pregnant woman when he lured her to Woodland in Leamington Spa under the promise of giving her drugs. He ended up R-wording her, murdering her before fleeing in a stolen car. He also killed a 58-year-old woman called Julie, a 32-year-old man called David. Yeah, he's he's not exactly a model prisoner. He will be in jail for the rest of his life. So, may have been all a game to him, to kill Ian Huntley. He's got nothing else to do. He ain't getting out. He's got a whole life order. Maybe hunting down other killers was a game in prison. Yeah, so there you go. This was him. Yeah, that's really sad. He was found guilty of R-wording McGregor, who was 18 weeks pregnant at the time. So he killed Nicole McGregor. This is her photo here. Under the guise of giving her narcotics at the time. So don't think we should put him on a pedestal for taking out another killer. This guy might be worse than Ian Huntley. The fact that he killed this pregnant lady, killed 2 other people, now he's killed a 4th person behind bars. This guy's got a tally longer. Yeah, he's a really bad guy. A really bad guy. Hey, Diane Marie, how are you? Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, I agree with you guys. I agree. So, an end to Ian Huntley. We never have to think about him again. But I guess we can keep Holly Wells and Jessica Chapman and their memory going. If anything positive to come out of it is that the entire world knows the 2 little girls dressed in the Manchester United football jerseys. Everyone knows that photo, and the good work of their parents continues. So even after Ian Huntley is gone, I'm sure that work with the mum and dad will keep going. That's the photo that everyone would know of the 2 girls. Both of them wearing that Man United Vodafone, very fashionable in the early 2000s. I think everyone had a red Man United jersey back then. Gayla said it makes him a big man in prison. It will. A lot of people won't want to go near him. Marlene said it is prison, not a lot of good people there. Yeah, you commit these crimes, you go to prison, you get killed by another killer. It's sort of like survival of the fittest, right? Gayla said that was taken that night. They had just got the jerseys. Yeah, isn't it? So it's like one of the last photos of them ever taken. And it's the one that everyone knows, I'm sure. If you know about this particular case, that is the photo that probably stays with you. All right, I got too many tabs open. Let me close a few. So yeah, he was attacked like a while ago, had been in prison, had been in hospital for like over a week. His mum had actually gone down to see him, and even she was like, I sort of hope this is the end of his life, because she couldn't deal with it either, that her son had done these awful crimes. And I think she was just hoping it was the end, so the suffering for her could stop, but also the suffering for the victim's parents too. Let me see. Someone sent me a thing saying there's an update in the David thing. I don't think there is. Yeah, I don't think there's an update. Why are people telling me there is an update? Oh, okay. Someone sent me a photo or a link to a photo. Okay, who is this? Let's have a look. More posts from Celeste's cousin. The family knows more than we do. What does it say? Y'all need to stop defending him. This is who you are defending, by the way. I don't know who they're talking about. Are they talking about David? Okay, I got no idea. What does my link say? Nothing. It just says the cousin of Celeste has been posting online. Celeste. I'll have a look. I don't know too much about her cousin. Apparently the cousin has been on TikTok and saying that they have been defending the family against online accusations that they failed Celeste. The cousin stated that Celeste had lived with them for a period of time after running away for a second time in 2024 and was perfectly fine under their roof. They mentioned that Celeste struggled while living with her mother and often ran away following arguments. The cousin claimed that detectives contacted their mother to brief the family on the probe, making them part of the active investigation. Well, I don't think that Celeste Rivas was fine if she still ran away, still ended up with like an older guy or whatever. Yeah, I think we went over the latest updates for David. Look, the next thing I think we'll see is that grand jury finalize, and we'll either get charges or we won't. And that is probably the next big thing to happen. So when that happens, we'll get another step in the whole thing. All right. All right, let's go. Where can we go? All right. Let's go to 8 News now in Las Vegas. If it'll let me. And you listen to this crime. I can't believe a 15-year-old, 8th graders, 8th graders? Is that right for 15? Yeah, 15-year-old boy. Listen to this.
Tears in a courtroom as a judge announces a second teenager will now be charged as an adult after an alleged group sexual assault by 8th graders.
The 8 News Now investigators, the only TV camera in the courtroom for the sensitive and emotional hearing.
Vanessa Murphy has our recap.
The judge making the decision to charge the now 15-year-old as an adult without even seeing the disturbing video of the alleged sexual assault. What she did see, 2 photos in connection with it. She read the arrest report, she says, and she heard the passionate argument from the lead prosecutor about how terrible this was.
This was violent and disturbing and horrific.
Dominic Kim is one of 4 8th graders from the private Alexander Dawson School who Metro Police say committed a brutal sexual assault against another student on a class trip to Costa Rica last April.
It's just pure vicious.
Kim's defense attorney Joshua Tomczyk arguing to keep the case here in juvenile court.
He is a child who is doing things to get attention.
But Judge Dee Butler calling the allegations serious, heinous, and egregious.
Dominic shall be certified.
Attorney David Chesnoff represents the victim and his family in the criminal case.
We're very gratified for the family. The judge gave a lot of thought to it. The district attorney's office made an eloquent presentation, and the judge followed the law.
But the
Isn't that crazy? So apparently they filmed it. On Thursday, a Nevada judge ordered a 15-year-old boy to stand trial as an adult for the SA that occurred during last year during a school trip to Costa Rica. They're saying the teen is the second student to be tried as an adult for sharing footage of the reported R-word which occurred in Costa Rica. And they're saying here that the teen and at least 3 other boys gang R-worded the male victim, Collins said the teen showed video of the assault to another child while in the victim's presence to further torment the victim. Prosecutors said the teen and another 15-year-old who is also charged as an adult threatened to harm the victim if he told anyone about what had happened. 15 on a trip to Costa Rica, and then they decided to torment the victim even more by passing around the video of what they did to the child. Yeah, it's a boy-on-boy crime. Gail said, I thought it was a boys' school. Yes, it is. It is a male victim with male perpetrators. But they're saying they will be tried as adults. So it's interesting how many of these quite serious offending is now being treated the way it should be. Dominic Kim, is that the kid? Yep. Here is one of the teenagers who committed the crime in court there. Okay. Thanks, Sean. Yeah, so let's see what they're saying here. They're saying Kim, the person you see on your screen, is in custody. And there was another teen, a 15-year-old called Vaughn Griffith, and he's also 15, has been certified as an adult and will face a count of possession of CSAM material. 2 other students in the case are not facing charges because of limits to charging people while, because the offense happened outside of the USA. They can't charge them here. Crazy. 15, and they gang R-worded another boy in the class. I think that is horrific for the kid. Terrible. Terrible. I hope people are looking after that victim. I really do. Far out. 15. God. We'll have to see what happens. That's all we've got. Just that they can be named now, and they have been moved from juvenile to adult proceedings. So they will be treated as adults from now on. But so all up, there's 4 kids that were involved. 2 of them have been charged. 2 of them cannot be due to it happening in Costa Rica. Crazy. Las Vegas, hey? I think it shows you, though, sexual crimes don't always just happen to girls. And sometimes they happen to young men, too. And that victim is very brave for speaking up. We don't have enough of it where young men who have been victims speak up about what has happened to them. So I'm very, very proud of that kid for speaking up. Let me see what else we've got. They named the victims in that triple murder that we were talking about the other day. Let me see if I can get to that. All right, let me see if we can get to it. That guy still sort of freaks me out how calm and normal he looks in that booking photo. I don't know about you, but it always sort of freaks me out. You know the guy I'm talking about, Ivan Miller. Apparently his victims have been named, although I think we knew them the other day. Let me have a look. Let's see. Let's see if we do really have an update for it. That's very sad. I want to take you to. Apparently, the friends of the victims have been speaking to the media. This case makes my head spin. I can't believe a guy killed people because he wanted their car. yet could have just given them the car. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm just trying to see if there is really an update or not. Let's have a look. They did. They identified the hikers as aunt and niece, Linda Dewey and Natalie Graves. So it was a aunt and niece. How very sad for the both of them. Can we get a photo of them? Yes, we can. There you go. So an aunt and niece were out there on the trailhead trying to, do a wholesome activity, and they came across that guy. And he shot and killed them because they had to happen. That guy scares the hell out of me. Like, they're the type of killers that you got to worry about. They're the ones who have they don't look like something from a horror movie. They don't look creepy. They look relatively normal. And then they're so okay with taking people's lives. He is very, very scary. Oh, okay. I was like, I see Melody Buzzard's name mentioned. It's only because it is the same county, Wayne County, that Melody was found in a little while ago. All right. That's the only update, just their names and their photos. So pretty awful. And I think I got one more for you. If we can go to, what channel is this? KFVS. I'm just going to check the video before I show it. Is it actually going to? Okay, I don't need to know about your local clubs. All right. All right, let me go to a different one. There is a guy charged with murder in the shooting death of a woman, and apparently they've figured out that it's his estranged wife. His name is Philip Whitnell. He stands accused of walking into Casey's Bar and Grill on December 13, only a few months ago in 2025, and gunning down Stephanie Stacy, 31, when she worked at the bar. They're saying he shot the victim multiple times before fleeing the scene. All right, I want to know more about her. There's got to be a better update. But apparently he has now gone back. He's been extradited from Illinois to Kentucky to face those charges. So is that her? Is that him and her? Let me have a look. Boyfriend of victim reacts to the shooting murder. Okay, that must be him there. All right. There's his mugshot. And there's him. So that is Whitnell, and that is her, Stephanie Stacy, 31. They're saying here, Whitnell shot the victim multiple times. Officers quickly learned that Whitnell and Stacy had been in a relationship and obtained a warrant charging him with murder. They then tracked him down to Illinois, where he was arrested by Illinois State Police during a traffic stop in Franklin County. Whitnell was finally brought back to Kentucky on Wednesday. He is expected in court on March 12 in about 5 days' time. Stacy was a mother of 2 and a stepmother of 1. According to legislators, they are pushing for a law dubbed Stephanie's Law to honor her. The legislation creates a domestic violence registry and requires anyone with at least 2 domestic violence convictions to be registered to the DV registry. That would be a good idea. Let's see if we can find out about the DV register. If it'll load. Yeah, here we go.
That as a new House bill sits in committee aimed at creating a domestic violence offender registry. If passed, House Bill 773 will be called Stephanie's Law in memory of Stephanie Stacy. Local 6's Zoe Lewis spoke with domestic violence leaders and sponsors of the bill about pros and cons of this registry.
HB 773 would require someone who is guilty of at least 2 domestic violence offenses to be on the potential domestic violence registry. Many people believe that the bill is a, quote, first step for continued support for domestic violence survivors, but there are concerns. House Bill 773 would require persistent domestic violence offenders, those with at least 2 domestic violence offenses, to be placed on a domestic violence offender registry. Representative Kim Holloway is the sponsor of the bill, and she says it was filed due to many requests to address domestic violence in Kentucky, especially after the death of Stephanie Stacy. After speaking with Stacy's parents, Holloway says the bill would be named in honor of Stacy.
They verbalize their support. They also recognize there is no perfect answer, but it is important to them that we do something to address what has happened and to potentially or to hopefully bring something good out of it.
The offender's name, date of birth, county residence, conviction date, crimes committed, and a photograph would be available to the public. Mary Foley, the executive director of the Merriman House, is supportive of the conversation of the bill, but it could have unintended consequences, including survivor privacy and safety.
We don't want something that is designed to be a helpful tool to then become a barrier for survivors to access services or to disclose that they're in a dangerous situation.
Foley says the state coalition Zero V shares that same opinion. Foley says she discussed the bill with survivors of domestic violence, and they say it is a starting point.
I think more conversation and more voices are needed.
You know, I don't know. I sort of like the UK version. Well, I sort of like this one. That it's a public registry. But I also like the UK version of it that they do, where you can. So in the UK, they do it 2 ways. You can be notified if it ends up being that you end up in a relationship with a new person who has a prior history with DV. They will notify you, and you can actually find out some of the history of the person that you're with. Maybe that is a way around what these advocates in the video are talking about, because they're saying if it's a public registry, maybe that would lead to a stigma for survivors, because maybe people could trace it back due to, socializing. They know this person was with that person during that time period. Oh, they must be the victim. The way the UK does it is pretty good. I can't remember what they call it. DV UK 2. I'm pretty sure. Is it this one? I think it's the Domestic Violence and Abuse Disclosure Scheme in the UK, and you can get like a notice. Yeah, Clare's Law. That one. That's the right one. Clare's Law. That's the one that we've talked about before. And it is, I quite like it. Maybe it could be something like that instead of like a whole registry. Yeah, see? Clare's Law, the right to know if your partner has an abusive past. They say Clare's Law, also known as the DVDS, is a police policy giving people the right to know if their current or ex-partner has any history of violence or abuse. The scheme is named after Claire Wood, who was murdered by her abusive ex-boyfriend in 2009. It was formally rolled out in England and Wales in 2014, following a landmark campaign led by Claire's father, Michael Brown. Under Claire's law, you have the right to make an application to the police requesting information about your current or ex-partner because you are worried that they may have been abusive in the past and believe they may pose a risk to you in the future. Request information from police about your current or ex-partner of a close friend, neighbor, or family member because you are concerned that they might be at risk of domestic abuse in the future. Maybe that is a good way of doing it, but maybe a mix of the two, because it's sort of like this one puts the onus onto the potential victim. So it's almost like women have to be proactive to not get abused. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like it's only there if you know about it. Maybe it could be done like a little bit of both. It might take out the sort of thing they were talking about with the registry being able to identify victims. Kim said, I think there should be a DV awareness website with names and pictures. I mean, hey, I think the reason that it is two charges is because sometimes there can be people charged with one. It could be a vindictive ex, it could be someone using the law against a partner, and it does happen. So maybe the second charge is to make sure that this person has an actual history in being that way, not like a once off because an ex-girlfriend was trying to get back at you type thing. Gail said, I remember a case in America where she did a background check on the guy, but his stuff from another country didn't show. She dated him and he killed her and he went on the run. Sounds familiar. It's, yeah, it sounds familiar. Yeah, look, if they can do this and bring it in, it would be good. It'd be good. That poor lady, Stephanie Stacy, gunned down. Imagine that, gunned down at Casey's Bar and Grill. You have to be a real, just to walk into their work in Paducah in Kentucky and just open fire and kill her. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It is awful. What a scumbag. I was trying to see if we had anything else on him. He looks like a scumbag. Look. Look at the photo. Look at that. He looks like the type of guy who might travel 100,000 miles to just shoot you because he's so mad that you're not with him anymore. Yeah, look, hopefully we do get an update on Stephanie's law, which I think would help. I think it might help women, keep away from jerks like him. So hopefully. We read about a story a few months ago about a about a UK girl who flew from the UK to Florida and then a guy killed her. I actually wanted to hang out with you guys for a little bit and see if there's an update because I haven't checked into it and I want to know. UK woman flew. I just wanted to see if there was a update on it. Now, it happened in November of 2025, and the guy's name was Dwayne Hall. Do you guys remember this one, Dwayne Hall? I just wanted to see if there's any update on what happened after he was arrested. Is there been any update since November? It doesn't look like it. It looks like the last update was when they actually took him into custody. Yeah, 18th, 19th November. That sort of looks like the last time that anyone has sort of done an update on it. I wonder if her body ended up going home to Britain. I would love to have known if that's what happened. Let me take you out here. If you don't remember the case, let me play a little bit for you.
County man thousands of dollars to torture and murder her. Investigators say the victim, Sonia Exelby, traveled from her home in England to Gainesville. They say she then met a man in Ocala. Her remains were later found in a wooded area of the Marion Oaks community back on October 13th. Investigative reporter Ashlyn Webb joining us live here in the studio. Ashlyn, you've been working on this story all night. The suspect originally told investigators he never met her.
Yes, but shortly after his story began to unravel, Dwayne Hall told investigators he met her online 2 years ago on what he described as a fetish site. He said he had a mentor-type relationship with her. He says he knew Exelby suffered from severe mental illness and wanted to help her. But investigators say instead he tortured her for days and then murdered her.
New documents reveal what brought FDLE investigators to these woods in Marion County. That's now a crime scene. Investigators say they found multiple attempted charges to Sonia Exelby's card from Solvers Wolf's roadside assistance. Dwayne Hall is the company's sole employee. Hall told investigators Exelby tried to get roadside assistance, but when her card didn't go through, he never helped her. But quickly, his story changed, later admitting to investigators he's had an online relationship with Exelby for roughly 2 years, where they discussed bondage, suicide, and her desire to have someone kill her.
Yeah, so they did talk about that, but when she got to the US in Florida and she ended up meeting him halfway through her being beaten and hit every day and hurt, she changed her mind and reached out to a friend to try and get out of there, and it was too late. Not long after that, he ended up killing her. There was some photos of her bruised face that made it to the public. Very sad that her life ended up like that. But I was trying to see if they had repatriated her body to the UK, but I don't see anything. You would have thought she would have gone home, right, by now? Yeah, like, I mean, it's been quite a while. Let me see. Flown. Let me check if there's any evidence that they've tried to repatriate her. Not right now. It sounds like her body is still in Florida. Apparently, it's possible her body is still being held as evidence, and apparently it can take several years for it to be given back to the family in this type of case. So there is no update on what happened to her after they found her remains in that wooded area. How sad. You know, I feel like I don't know. I don't know if there's much that could have been done for that lady. She had tried to run away before, and her family stopped her and were able to get her to come back. And this time they were just too late, and they didn't find out in time about where she had gone. So that, you know, it's just sad. It's a very sad ending to her life. Let me see if there's any like local or big breaking news tonight. Oh my God. Did you guys hear this about Hawaii? Apparently, a 33-year-old man has died after entering a dangerous and off-limits area in Hawaii's Volcanoes National Park. They said they identified him as a Hawaiian resident, hiked into the area on the east side. They're saying the man entered and then fell. He was found amid steep terrain and was airlifted to Hilo Benoi Medical Center about 22 miles away from the volcano. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. And this is the type of place he was going to. Let me show you the volcano. He was trying to hike to this location, and sounds like he may have fallen and then become overwhelmed, by the gases and the heat. Let me see if I can find anything else about it. So he snuck into a closed section, so not one that you're supposed to go to. Sounds like one where you're, supposed to stay away from it. Yeah, I'll take you to Kehon News in Hawaii very quickly.
A Big Island man died after being found at Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. Officials say search and rescue responded to an incident on Thursday night in a closed area on the east side of Kilauea Caldera. Crews had to scale steep and hazardous terrain to airlift the 33-year-old man from the area. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. The incident is under investigation. Officials say visitors should remain in open areas of the park.
Well, I agree. You should remain in the open areas of the park. If you go to these type of closed off regions, you're asking for trouble, right? Oh, that's interesting. This one, I'm not going to play it. I'll load it quickly. This video here about the Suffolk Strangler. This case is one of the ones that got me into true crime. If you don't know it, there was a documentary that came out the other day, and you should watch it. I'm pretty sure it was on BBC, Sky. I'm not sure which one, but if you look up the Suffolk Strangler, you'll be able to find it. Back when we didn't have a lot of like true crime and stuff like that, we used to log in at night to watch the Sky UK coverage, because like over several weeks, these bodies kept turning up in Suffolk, and like every night they'd be like, "Hey, we found another girl. We found another girl. There was another girl found," and it was going on for like weeks and weeks at a time. It is a very well, at the time we were watching it every night to find out whether they could find the guy who was dumping these women, or if there would be any more women found. Eventually, they tracked down the guy and the killings stopped. But for about 2-3 months there in Suffolk, it was really full on. So that was back in like 07, 06, a while ago. Dunblane documentary. Dunblane. I don't know what that is. Dunblane. I don't know what that is. What is this? It's okay. It's just a little before my time. Actually, there's one story that people have been asking me to keep an eye on, and I guess we should do an update tonight. Hold on. Now, someone sent me a reminder that this was going to go to trial, but I actually knew about this case when it happened, and it is Natalie McNally. Do you guys know this? I don't know if a lot of people know the murder of Natalie McNally. Her partner is accused of faking a live stream. So he was like an online gamer on Twitch or whatever, and he is accused of like pre-recording a live stream, putting it up online while he dealt with the aftermath of killing Natalie McNally. The authorities saw right through it. They did not believe him. So I am wondering if anyone had heard of it or not. Hold on. Who is emailing me? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if anyone knows of it. I'm gonna try to get to you. I want to get you like sort of like a 2-minute catch up thing of it so we can talk about it. Geez, I would have thought there would have been heaps of them. There's got to be a BBC or Sky News video. Wow, I'm surprised there's like none. Maybe because I'm Australian? What the hell? Maybe if I look up the actual guy, Stephen McCullough. Let me look up Stephen. Jesus. Far out. I really thought there would have been way more. Huh. Okay. Okay, there really isn't. How strange. How really strange. That's fine. We can use a website. YouTuber accused of murdering pregnant girlfriend recorded live stream alibi 4 days earlier. So there's that premeditation. There's that lovely lady there, Natalie McNally. What a nice looking girl. And they're saying a YouTuber accused of murdering his pregnant girlfriend recorded the live stream he used as an alibi 4 days earlier. Stephen appeared to be broadcasting himself live playing Grand Theft Auto and drinking Guinness in his home in County Antrim while Natalie McNally was being killed around 30 miles away in Lurgan County. Lurgan County, Armagh? Hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm probably not. McCullough, 36, has denied murdering his 32-year-old partner who was 15 weeks pregnant with their son. But the prosecution argued the stream was pre-recorded and posted as if it was live on the 18th of December 2022, while he disguised himself and took a bus to her home before walking to her house and attacking her. He later returned home by taxi before going back to Miss McNally's house the next evening and calling 999 as if he had found her. Earlier this week, the trial heard that Miss McNally was subjected to prolonged assault, suffering stab wounds to the neck, strangulation, and heavy blows to the head. Prosecutors allege her murder was planned, calculated, and premeditated, one which he had hoped to get away with. On Wednesday, the court was shown over an hour of footage from the supposed live stream, which showed him playing Grand Theft Auto Robot Wars while drinking Guinness and Baileys and making references to broadcasting live. You know, I know a little bit about this. The live stream that he did, people in the chat were picking up that it wasn't live. The way they were picking it up is like, imagine I was here and there's a chat and there's people asking questions and things like that. And I'm going for like 2 hours and I'm not talking to any of you. And everyone's like, why is he not replying? You know, we're trying to talk to him about stuff or give him some information. The chat was saying like, there's no way this is live. They were picking up on it the night it was happening. And they knew from watching previous broadcasts of him that this is not how he does it. He doesn't ignore the chat. He talks to, like, you know, his viewers, and the fact that he was just sitting there like pretending to play video games for hours. Yeah, so it was pretty obvious to everyone that the live stream was fake. They're saying here, DC Matthews said probe of the computer indicated the 6-hour broadcast had been recorded on December 14 and saved as a video file. He said it was then broadcast as live on his YouTube account on the 18th of December. DC Matthews explained the software showed no signs of user activity between 6 p.m. and just after midnight on the 19th of December. The video file was then deleted in the early hours of the 19th and then removed from the computer's recycling bin. So he tried to cover it up that it was a fake live stream, all while he went over and killed his pregnant ex-partner. I know there's a lot of people in the UK who really want a verdict in this one, and I hope they get it. I wish there was more coverage of it. The coverage is not great. Not great. I thought it would be way more extensive. So this is in Belfast, I'm guessing. Ireland. Belfast court has heard claims that the man accused of murdering Natalie McNally had previously beaten another ex-partner after finding photographs she had sent to another man while they were separated. There you go. So he had a history of it. A history of hurting partners. What a scumbag. I'm gonna try and see. There has to be a small video we can play that shows you that live stream. Because it has been in a couple of documentaries already. That's how I found out about it, is that it was in a documentary like a year ago. Let's see. There's really not. That's really strange. Like, there's a couple of true crime people or... All right, maybe we can go here. This is back on the 22nd of December 23rd. This is the original press conference. We can have a listen.
Detectives from the Major Investigation Team have now launched a murder investigation following the death of Natalie McNally in Lurgan. This follows the results of the post-mortem. The 32-year-old died a violent death, having been stabbed a number of times, and there are signs of defensive injuries. She was murdered at her home in the Silverwood Green area of the town, and evidence now suggests that she was murdered on the night of Sunday, the 18th of December. Officers were called to the property along with colleagues from the Northern Ireland Ambulance Service. Sadly, Natalie was pronounced dead at the scene. It is distressing to add that Natalie was in fact 15 weeks pregnant. This fatal attack, which happened in her own home, has therefore resulted in a double tragedy. The death of a mother-to-be along with her unborn baby. Natalie was much loved by her devoted parents and family, and my thoughts are with them at this time. Her death have left family and friends devastated.
There you go. Let me see if we can watch a little bit of that live stream. I have it here from the Belfast Live. Let's see. I want to see how like convincing it is. Let's have a look.
Hey, and we're live. Hello, everyone. Yeah, a little bit out of the blue, this, isn't it? But hang on, my levels are just a nightmare. There we go. Bring that down a little bit. And that could be a little bit better framed, but that's the fun of being live. Yes, so hello to all on this glorious Sunday evening. Yeah, so I just thought, why not? I'm going to do a live stream because this day next week is Christmas. So what more could you want for Christmas other than an evening with your old pal Steve? Hey, and we're live. Hello, everyone. Yeah, a nightmare. Live. Yes, so hello to all on this glorious Sunday evening. Yeah, so I just thought, why not? I'm going to do a live stream because this day next week is Christmas. On for Christmas.
I don't know. I would like to see more of that live stream, like a longer part of it, to see how it sort of went throughout the throughout like the hours that 6 hours is a long live stream, right? It's not a small live stream. And the fact that I just have a funny feeling like that your viewers would pick up on it. I'm sure of it. Within 6 hours, and you don't talk to anyone at all. I don't know. I reckon your viewers would be all over it. They would know. I really wish we could find a longer version of it. Ah, our mouse just went out. Hold on, guys. Is it this? All right, there we go. I can't find a longer version of it, but there's like a lot of screenshots of it, which is weird. I'm sure it's on a YouTube channel somewhere. There you go. You can see him playing video games there. He's cheesy. He's a little over the top for someone who's supposed to be just playing video games, right? He sounds far too happy to go and murder his girlfriend. He sounds far too like, I can't wait to go and murder my pregnant girlfriend. Yay! That's what I can't wait to do after this. While this is on, I'm going to go murder my girlfriend. And she's pregnant with my son. I can't wait. Let me see. He's got to have a channel. Wonder if we can find it. Steve McGowan. Wonder if we can actually find like what his channel was called. Okay, I found it. Wonder if it's on here. Let's have a look. Is this it?
Mostly it has been work, and it has been stuff in my private life. It's also been the fact that this computer is on its last legs, the fact that I've had so many YouTube videos to work through. It's all been a bit of a nightmare.
All right, so this is it. This is on his YouTube
Tell
channel.
you a wonderful little story. All this past week, I have been trying to hook up a PS3 to this streaming software. Is it streaming? Yes, it is. Oh, thank God. And it's just been a complete disaster. Like, I've went out, I've bought new cables, capture card, everything. Nothing works. Please don't blow up. You all good? You all good? Get the fuck out me way. Get out me. Fucks to you backwards, Bessie. Right, I need to.
All right, I'm going to turn down his voice because he's not really saying a lot, just talking about the games. I'm actually looking at the chat as we get into it. Like, we're about 2 hours and 40 minutes into the live stream, the fake live stream. Let's keep going.
Fuck him up, Diaz. I'm going. What? Which I do. So there.
I just want to see if like people start picking up like why he's not replying to the chat. And look, I know some live streamers don't ever reply to their chat. They just sort of do their show and don't talk to
I'm
people.
gonna fucking lose my shit.
Like, we're like 4 hours in.
Shit. Concentrate. Little dick. Yeah. What's
Yeah, I'm not seeing like a lot of people in the chat. I see some people talking about like, hey, tell us this, tell us that. and he's
Okay.
not
Check it out.
replying.
Hey, Stephanie's rooftops. I think I'll stick with the for that one. To be. And we reach a stage where we realize it's not about us anymore. It's about the younger generation. And it's about keeping that love alive and passing it on. And
Interesting. All right. I wonder if we can get out of this and have a look at the comments. God, how do we get out of the full screen? There we go. Let's have a look. What do they say? I feel so sorry for the people in the live chat. They seem so naive now. They're all so happy he's live. This guy is a monster. Yeah. The thing that this is the most terrifying is that you know something horrible is happening in real life while the chat is happy to see him. Someone here says, hello, I was unfortunately watching this live stream at the time, and you're right. I was naive. I didn't think anything of it at the time, and I believed his BS. I never thought he would do such a heinous act. When my friend told me the news, my jaw dropped more and more as I researched what happened, and he had the audacity to continue afterwards like nothing ever happened. So someone says the way he covered his ass by telling the live chat he was having an issue and couldn't respond to the live chat, but they could chat amongst themselves. That is true. What if I drop hints about my murder plan during this pre-recorded video? Yeah. Let's have a look.
I just realized I'm literally going to be drinking and driving. In the game, by the way, I'm not leaving the house tonight. So
Someone in the comments said he got caught out saying like, yeah, he goes, oh, I'm going to be drinking and driving. And then he goes, oh, in the video game, I'm going to be drinking and driving.
So then this sort of became an offshoot of that, where you can get out of the car, you can shoot, you can fight people. So I'm literally going to be drinking and driving. In the game, by the way, I'm not leaving the house tonight. So
Oh, he's not leaving the house tonight except to like murder people. Except, unless you're going to murder people, don't drink and drive apparently. There you go. So yeah, that live stream's still up from all those years ago where he acted like it was just before Christmas and he was doing a lovely Christmas stream for his followers, and he sort of, I don't know if you think he hit it well or he didn't, but this is what he tried to use as an alibi when he went and killed his partner. Terrible. So I think that trial is still ongoing. Let me just check if there was an update. So the trial began February 16. Sounds like it is still ongoing. In March of 2026, the court heard testimony from a former girlfriend who alleged that he had physically assaulted her in 2019 and covertly recorded her private counseling sessions after she suffered a stillbirth. What a lovely gentleman. Let's see. I want to see if there's any... where's the trial now? So the murder trial of Stephen is currently entering its fourth week at Belfast Crown Court. As of the 7th to 8th of March, the trial has reached the following stage. They've currently done recent testimony of the ex-partner. The defense argued that the recorded sessions, that he recorded her counseling sessions to help remember what was said. There you go. What else? What is happening this week in the trial? They expect to actually go over mobile phone evidence from Natalie's phone this week. And they're saying that the trial was supposed to go for about 5 weeks, and they're at the 4-week mark right now. Yeah. So they've got a little bit more time to go, and we'll see what the jury has to say. It's a jury of 6 men and 6 women. So a very evenly split jury trying to come to a verdict on this guy. I'm just trying to see here. I wonder, there was apparently a 999 call, but I don't know if I can get it for you guys quickly. No, I'm not able to get it right now. If it gets released after the trial, I'll let you know. But yeah, it's going to go into another week of trial for that one this week. Gail said, I was classed as in danger when I had to spend over a week in labor at the hospital there, but because I'm an RC, I was okay. You had nuns to come visit you? Thavi said, was he cheery or overacting to compensate for what he was thinking? He wanted the fun, but not the children that came as a result. Seems like it. Rachel said, was he charged for the baby? I don't think so. I think he's only on one murder charge, right? Yeah, it's only to her murder. So he's only been charged with the death of her. Yeah, let me double check, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it looks like the murder charge is just for Natalie. I don't know why or what the difference is in Ireland about death of like unborn children. I'm not sure. Let's have a look. Yeah, so it sounds like it is just for that. So apparently in that video, that live stream that we had up on the screen, there was a mission in there called Waste the Wife, in which the player must kill a woman and stage the death as an accident. The prosecution argued that this was intended as an Easter egg to taunt the McNally family after the crime. Defense lawyers maintained that the case against their client was entirely circumstantial and that the timing of the mission relative to McNally's estimated time of death was a tragic coincidence. Interesting that there was some random mission called Waste the Wife. Awful. Yeah, sounds like it. Yeah, just I don't know why there is no charge for the baby. Yeah, it looks like it's just for that. I was just trying to double check, but yeah, looks like it is just for her death. Hey, Missy Motormouth, how are you? Well, I jumped on tonight to try and hang out with you guys because apparently Trish was very quick tonight, and people were emailing me asking if I could come and hang out with everyone. And I was like, well, I could do that for you guys. I wasn't going to do a live stream tonight, actually, because I wasn't feeling that great. I'm going to get out of here. It's almost 6 p.m. Tomorrow, what are we doing tomorrow? There'll be a live stream tomorrow. It'll be at 10:30 Eastern. 10:30 Eastern because Trish is going at 8 p.m. for some reason. I'm not sure why, but she is going at 8 p.m. So I'll be on at 10:30. Gayla said take some paracetamol. I will. I woke up this morning absolutely feeling like death. I don't know. Maybe caught a bug at the gym or something. Kim said, I thought Trisha isn't until tomorrow. She didn't do a live stream at all today. Oh, I thought she did the book club or whatever. Oh, she didn't do anything today. Oh, okay. That's why people were messaging me asking me to come on. Okay. Lisa, by the way, thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate it. Sorry we couldn't cover the cases that you wanted us to cover tonight. Although we cover a lot of Australian true crime. I don't know what. I mean, I don't think. I think I represent Australia pretty well. I cover so many Australian cases, devoted 5 months of my life to the Aaron Patterson trial last year, literally 5 months. I mean, I tell so many stories from where I live. It's just we can't do them all the time. If there's nothing here, I don't know what you want me to do, right? You guys don't want me to go back and prattle over stuff that we've already done. That's what I think. Like, I'd rather give you stuff you've never heard of. Marlene said, feel better and get a flu shot. I will get a flu shot before winter. Yeah, I am. Yeah, been feeling a little under the weather for a few days. Yeah, I'll be back. I think Sean sent a donation too. I appreciate it, Sean. Hopefully we get this feeling sick out the way before we have to go to Ballarat. Yeah. By the way, thank you to Kathy and Penguin for the ones yesterday. I appreciate both of you, and for Sean tonight, I appreciate it. Yeah. I will be back tomorrow. I will. Thavi said, feel better, Ping. I felt off today too. Me too. I feel a bit just, I don't know, low energy today. And I was just trying to see if there's anything breaking news, but I don't think so. It's been a really quiet Saturday. Yeah, very quiet Saturday, even in the breaking news game. I was just trying to see if anything came up, because sometimes it does. I think the only thing that's sort of come up is that an explosion hit the US Embassy in Oslo. That's about it. And then 6 people arrested after homemade nail bombs launched at the home of the New York City mayor. There you go. If you're in New York City, people doing some very naughty things in New York sounds very dangerous too. All right. I will see you. I'll be back tomorrow. Blood test for B vitamin. I do take a multivitamin every day. Every day I take a multivitamin every day. I shouldn't be low in any B's, C's, A's, Z's, Y's, any of the letters. Yeah, I will. I feel better. All right, I'll be back tomorrow 10:30. Hopefully more people will come and hang out. I would love to know where all our regulars are. I don't understand what is going on. By the way, it makes me stress out because I want to know where everyone is. I'm like, did I do something? Did I piss you off? If I did, I'd rather people just write it down and go, Ping, you pissed me off, so I'm never going to come back. I'd rather know so I don't sit there and stress out. Gayla says, please hit the like button on your way out. Yeah, and tell me if you're not happy with my performance. Tell me. No, don't do that. All right. I'm going to go because all I want to do is lie in this chair and watch stuff that doesn't matter until I feel better. Kim says, time change tonight, American friends. For summertime, you guys are going to daylight savings. But is that for everyone, though? Does that mean everyone in America has to do it? Daylight savings, USA time. I don't know how it works with you guys. In most of the United States, daylight savings time begins on the second Sunday in March. Most of Arizona, all of Hawaii, and several U.S. territories do not observe daylight savings time. However, Navajo Nation in Arizona does follow it. So everyone else, if you're not, most of Arizona, all of Hawaii, and several U.S. territories, you have to move your clock forward 1 hour tonight. So if you haven't done that yet, you probably should. Yes, clock forward at 2 a.m. And then we do our one in a month. In a month's time, we do our one and we go back an hour. So we'll come off summertime. And then the times really shift. So right now is like 6 p.m. But in a month, this show, if we were doing it at the same time, would actually be 4 p.m. That's how wide it shifts with the time zones changing. It moves by 2 hours in a month. So after tomorrow, it'll change by 1 hour. Right now would be 5 p.m. for me. Then when we do it in April, it'll go another hour back and it'll be 4 p.m. So we have to do this twice a year, once in March and April, and then one in October and November. So twice a year we have to mess with the times and all that type of thing. So Missy says, I refuse to change my clock. Last time I've been living on Texas time, but tomorrow my clock will be right for the first time in 6 months. You just refuse? What happens if you have an appointment? Do you just have to go, I'll be there at 10 o'clock? And then you're like, okay, I have to remember that I have to go there an hour later. Is that how that works? Like, I want to know how that works. What happens if someone books you an appointment for 2:30? And you're like, my clock said it was 2:30. And they're like, we were expecting you already. I want to know how that works for you. Gayla said your mobile changes automatically. Yeah, mine does when we do it. Back in the day with mobiles, it didn't. You had to change it yourself. And a lot of people would be late to work and stuff like that because they would not change their alarm on the Sunday. All right, let's get out of here. It just worked for you? Okay. I don't know if he's looking at the daylight savings, is he? I don't think I've heard anything about Trump trying to get rid of daylight savings. I know he's trying to get rid of everything environmental. I don't know anything about his war on time zones. War on tariffs? I don't know about time zones. All right. See you later. I'm going to get out of here. Bye.